kids or kids at heart, doesn't matter what age you are, come on up for our children's sermon. We've got homemade cookies. They look like crumble cookies almost. They're cookies that do crumble. Yeah. It's like chocolate chip. Yummy. Yummy. Anyone else? Bob, did you want to come up? I see your walk. Kid at heart's fine. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to be preaching about signs today. So I'm going to show you and ask you about some signs. Some are obvious and some are not so obvious. So if I go like this and you're walking towards me, what do you think that's a sign for? Very good. That was a tough one. Okay, here's another hard one. What kind of sign is this? Come. Okay, you guys are doing really good. Some a little more subtle. You're at school. You took a test. You don't feel real good about the test. Did you ever have one of those tests before? Yeah. You get the paper, and as the paper is being handed down, you see red marks all over your paper. You don't even have to look at it beyond that. You just see red marks all over it. What's that a sign of? Failed, or you didn't do real good. No, I'm sure that's never happened to either of you, right? No, never, right? So the reality is we have signs all the time. When you guys or your parents are driving home and you're going through red lights or green lights, you have yield signs, you have slow down signs, you have dangerous curve ahead signs. All of those signs are pointing for us to understand something, right? Now, in the Bible, a lot of people looked to Jesus and they said, Jesus, I'm not sure I really believe in you. Show me more signs. Now, think about it. How is Jesus showing signs already that he was the Messiah, that he is the Messiah? Do you have any idea what types of signs did Jesus do or have done to him that show that he really was who he said he was? Have any idea? Miracles. That's a great one, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone that has the ability to rise someone from the grave. When Lazarus came out all wrapped up like a mummy, and he said, take off his grave clothes. You know, they had strips of cloth wrapped around him. He's like, ta-da, here I am, I'm alive, right? He was dead, and Jesus said, Lazarus, get out of that grave, right? He rose someone from the grave. People had leprosy, which was an incurable disease. It was a horrible disease, and it was very contagious, right? And Jesus would come over and hug people that had leprosy, and he'd be like, man, you're cured. And they'd be cured. Some people were blind. And you know what he did one time? He spit in their eyes. Want me to spit in one of your eyes? No? Okay. Spit in their eyes, and he cured them of blindness. And he cured people of blindness in a lot of different ways. But he did all these miracles. What other signs can you think of, maybe, that show that Jesus truly is the Messiah? What about in the Old Testament? Do you know anything about the Old Testament and signs about Jesus? Yes. The Old Testament proclaimed what Jesus was going to do, where he was going to be born, the fact that he was going to be killed, that he was going to be hung on a cross. Did you know that there are over 300 specific prophecies about Jesus Christ? And these were also signs that were given to people. And you know what the people still said? I'm not sure I really believe. Show me more signs. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think it didn't matter how many signs Jesus performed, they still weren't going to believe? Why is that? That's a deep answer. They're expecting someone up on the throne, their expectation of the Messiah was different than what Jesus was, wasn't it? Yeah. And that's actually one of the points I'm going to be preaching about in my sermon, right? And the reality is they had a hardened heart. They weren't going to believe in Jesus no matter what. And there might be people that you come across and you can tell them about the signs that Jesus performed. You can tell them how Jesus has affected your life in a powerful way. And they're still going to say, I don't really believe. And the biggest problem is that they have a hardened heart. And what's the only thing that we can do to help them when they have a hardened heart? What do you think it is? Pray. Very good. So if you know of someone that just doesn't believe, the best and only thing you can do is pray for them, that God would soften their heart and help them to have eyes to see the signs that Jesus has already performed And who knows, maybe God would even perform a special sign in their lives. All right? Well, thanks a lot, guys. You can all sit down.